Now, I know what you're asking yourself.
What other goofy ass shit is this guy doing to his piece of shit 2003 Subaru?
Well, today, as you can see, these used to be chrome, right? Somebody had painted them, or maybe they weren't chrome, and they were painted from factory and they're chrome underneath. I'm not entirely sure, but today, I have trim and bumper paint, which pretty closely matches this. This is matte, it's not glossy. And we're gonna be seeing if I can transform this one of those spots. Now, probably think, what the fuck's with all the goddamn cardboard? Well, the cardboard is so I don't get overspray all over the car. And it's the best way I can think to do it, honestly, without having to tape everything off or drape rags all over shit. And if you own a Subaru, doesn't even have to be WRX, you know you only get one shot to take these off, and if you break them, they never go back on. You have to buy new ones. And I don't know how much new ones cost, but I know they're not easy to outsource from other people parting the cars out and stuff, because you gotta take theirs off too, and you end up breaking the same piece and bringing home a broken piece because you broke their shit and you still have to buy it. So I am not running the risk of breaking this piece, so I'm just gonna mask it off and paint it. And the cool thing about this kind of paint is if I get it on the glass or if I get it on this paint, it'll remove pretty easily. Because it's made to adhere to plastic-like materials. I mean, that's what it's specifically designed for. So I should be able to take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on the windows and wipe it off if it gets on the windows. Like if I get a little overspray here, a little overspray here. I'm not too terribly worried about it. And eventually I am going to be buying carbon fiber pieces for this and probably continuing all the way up here. But for right now, this is ugly and I want it painted. So that is exactly what we're gonna do. So, as you can see, I have it all masked off. Clearly. Our first step is we are going to sand it. I'm just going to use 150 grit sandpaper, sand it down. After we sand it, I use glass cleaner because it evaporates. It doesn't have any like slick, nasty stuff that stays on the paint, so I'm using glass cleaner. And then obviously, I've got a fresh, brand new microfiber that I will be using to clean it all off when it is all said and done. So, I cannot get this piece to stick here, so I have the sneaking suspicion it's going to end up getting on the window, but as you can see, I did mask under the window, but only two here. So, looking back on it, I probably should have masked a little further, but we are going to start this whole process by sanding this down a little bit more, especially in like these chrome spots, because paint is not going to stick to that chrome very well at all. And I did mask off the rubber trim on the inside as well because I did not want to paint the rubber trim. So I am going to get to sanding some of this so that I can lay down some paint. And I'm not going nuts. I'm not looking to strip it all the way down to the chrome across the whole thing. That is not my intent. I'm really just looking to get a nice rough abrasive surface to actually paint over, because if you paint over a really slick process, as I have learned in numerous years, paint just comes flying off of this, and this sees abuse of the outside world every single day. So the last thing I want is, you know, one really big rainstorm or a big gust of wind from a damn semi or something to come by and it just rips all of this off of here. Now, to save my paint too, to save my tape, I'm actually going to spray it on the rag instead of spraying it directly all over everything. But that's all I needed, and as you can see, I've already got a clip popping on this one. It will not stay in. But like I said, you can see it's kind of like a darker trim color like it's supposed to be, and it looks clean, and you can literally watch it dry as my clip pops out again. You can watch it dry as all the glass cleaner evaporates. That is what we want, because you don't want a bunch of residue and shit all over this while you're trying to paint it. And I'm going to try to direct the majority of the paint this way, because like I said, trim here and glass, I can get it off of no problem. Without hurting this other paint, I don't know how easily I can get it off, so we are going to focus mainly on getting it on anything else, realistically. So, just like I said, I don't know if any of you watched my live video that I did record. Shake your paint. Shake the shit out of your paint, because it's pretty important that you don't have, you know, the water or the solution or whatever they use inside of this separated from the paint, and then you get really big blotch of sprays all over the place, and it just looks like shit. And another thing I always do is I give everything a test spray. So, you know, you take your lid off, maybe. Wow. Tough lid. You take your lid off, you know, and once you feel like you have shaken it adequately, give it a test spray to make sure it sprays even. Which, that sprayed pretty even in my book. So, that thing is all nice and dry. We're gonna pop the clip back in. And like I said, we're trying to be pretty careful here, because like I just did, I got overspray right onto the paint. So I am going to spray a little bit more glass cleaner down, and we are going to try our best to wipe that away. Because obviously, if we can help it, we do not want overspray on the paint, which I did get. So another part that I will be doing, another thing that I will be doing to this car, which should be happening fairly soon, is the whole entire car is going to get clay barred, polished, and waxed. So like I said, paint is not a massive concern. If there's some speckles on the paint, I don't want to directly spray the paint, but if we get some speckles on the paint, it really is what it is, to be honest with you. And light coats make for the best looking coats, and you want to keep a good even distance from the actual part you are painting. You do not want to go and spray really up close to it, because then you get runs, you get thick spots, you get inconsistency. If you spray from afar and you kind of just let it fall onto the object you are painting, you'll end up getting a much better result. So we're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna hit it with one more, maybe two more solid coats. I'm not gonna clear coat this because I do not have satin clear. And like I said, the rest of the trim here is satin. So I want to keep, you know, with the satin theme. I don't want it to stick out like a sore thumb. It is obviously going to look newer than the rest of this stuff, but I don't want it to stand out directly and be glossy or anything like that. So I specifically bought matte paint. It has no finish at all. There's no gloss, there's no shine, there's no metallic, nothing. It is just matte black. So I'm gonna let this dry and I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so I figured I'd come back through with a light here, and as you can see, It's got a pretty smooth consistency, but now that you put a light on it, you can also see those little black speckles on the paint there. I did get some overspray on the paint, which is very fixable in my book. But if you look at it, it looks a hell of a lot better. This is the third coat on it. So if we come over here and we look even at this side, which this side hasn't really started peeling a whole lot yet. As you can see, there's still some chrome to be seen through it. That is the color difference we're looking at here. So like this one, I don't know how to describe it. It's still matte, but it's more glossy than this. And this is faded way more than this. And it's got the chrome sticking out. So you can't tell me that shitty little ugly thing there looks better than that there. So little details are huge for me. I love little details. So we are going to let this dry and move on to the other side. All right, as you can see, it matches a million times better. It's not perfect, but like I said, I ran the risk of getting overspray. Knew I was gonna get overspray there. And if you look, it's kind of hard to pick it up on camera. Actually, it's better if I take the light away. You can see on the bottom there, and a straight line all the way up, and on the glass that I got overspray. So I am going to paint that other side, and then the whole car's getting clay barred. So, or at least these portions of the car, so that the paint does not stay on there. And actually, as you can see, with just the power of a rag here and a little bit of cleaner, most of it did come off. I do have some speckles down here, as you can kind of see in a few spots. The paint is getting clay barred anyways. I need it cleaned up because it drives me bonkers. But as you can see, that looks a million times better. We'll give you a look from over here too. It's hard to tell how much cleaner it does look without seeing like the before. But even over here, it just looks older, looks more out of date. I am going to be making a block off plate for this as well, because I think this is ugly as shit. Either making a block off plate or just buying one. So we'll figure something out. But for right now, it looks a hell of a lot better. And before everybody freaks out on me, as you can see there, this side is sticking out because I tried to take the damn thing off and the fucking clip broke. Clip is broken. So this is why I resorted to just masking it off and painting it, because if I would have broke the other clips, then I wouldn't have had a piece here at all. I'd rather have to deal with a little bit of overspray on the paint than not having a piece there at all, and then the car really looks jank as shit. So we're gonna leave that. But on this side, I do, as you can see now, you can see a lot more chrome. I have this piece all sanded down. It is nice and smooth, but I know it's got some abrasion in it so that that paint will actually stick. We are going to start the mask off process here now. All right, so as you can see, unlike the other side, I went a little more extensive in some areas, but a little less extensive in other areas. It is still completely masked off all the way around, all the edges across the top and bottom. So this is already sanded, cleaned, prepped, and ready to be painted. So I'm gonna throw a little bit more masking tape here just to kind of avoid some overspray, because I do have to kind of spray this way on this one as well. So I'm gonna do just a teeny little skosh bit more pieces, and this is going to get some paint as well. All right, as you guys can see, I have cleaned up any overspray, which we actually had very, very, very little this go around. I have all of the masking off, and it is just like perfectly smooth. I mean, the colors match pretty damn good. I am a huge fan. So the next piece we're gonna do, I'm gonna pull it outside. So we're gonna open up the garage, pull it out, because I want these to bake in the sun before it gets actually driven anywhere. And this one, as you can kind of see in like the light, super smooth. Rust-Oleum paint was very much bueno. Very good, huge fan. Removed from the actual paint of the car, super easy. As you can see, it removed from the glass, insanely easy as well. So we're gonna pull this out and that'll be it. All right, so we have made it back inside. I am in my office now. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Don't mind all of the dog noses. I do have 2 dogs. So I think it makes a Subaru look a lot better. If somebody hadn't seen it before that was actually done, they'd never know. And it'd mean absolutely nothing to them. And it probably means absolutely nothing to everybody watching this video. But to me, it has been driving me absolutely bonkers seeing it that way. So, like I said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have a lot of things incoming for that car. I have something coming today, actually, specifically for the channel to upgrade the quality of the videos. I would like to try to upload a lot more, as you can tell. But, peace out. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night.